Hi, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to be a self achiever and what it means to be realistically oriented, have a well organized perception of reality, and have a comfortable relationship with it and what that means. It's very important if you want to be a self achiever. Let's take a look at reality versus things that are made up. So, reality is something that is true, that exists. It's not something that is made up, okay? Or something that is false. It's something that is true and it actually exists. It's absolute, it's actual, it's authentic, it's certain. There's a level of certainty about reality that we can feel. Reality is honest, it's legitimate, it's original, it's true. And there's a huge payoff, okay? So when you're looking at reality versus what's made up, okay, the payoff is huge. You have a clear mind, you have a feeling of security, you feel certain, you have knowledge and wisdom and courage to face the challenges that are in front of you. Now, when things are made up, it's a whole different ballgame, okay? It's something that is false, it's hypothetical, it's imagined, it's theoretical, it's unreal, it's assumed, it's deceptive, it's dreamt up, it's a figment of your imagination. So these are all things that people make up in their mind that are totally untrue versus what is real, what is really happening. You've heard of real estate. Why do they call it real estate? Real estate is called real estate is because it's real estate, reality. So reality is something that is real versus something that is made up. So let's finish this up. So there's a ripoff, right? And the ripoff is that your mind is confused. You walk around in this fog. You feel insecure and uncertain. Sometimes you feel dumb. You may feel frightened and left out and afraid to face life. So these are some of the things that when you begin to look at reality versus things that are made up in your mind, it doesn't really make sense to make stuff up, okay? So let's continue. So there's perception, oops, there is organized and disorganized. So what does organized really mean? So organized is really about something that's in order. When you feel like things in your life are in order, how do they feel? You feel coordinated. You feel that things are established. You feel that things are straightened out, whether it's in your home or your garage or on your laptop or on your phone. These things feel straightened out, especially if they're organized in a relationship. They feel straightened out. They feel grouped together. Everything is in harmony. Things are lined up. There's an order to it. There's a connection, right? Now, when something is jumbled up, okay, when something is disorganized, it feels messy, feels muddled, blurry, clouded, disoriented. You know how it is when things are all confusing and disorganized? You feel like you're disoriented. It's haphazard. There's a lot of confusion. So there's a big disadvantage to that, and there's a ripoff. And the ripoff, when things are disorganized, is that you lose mental focus. You lose time. You have lost, you're literally losing your life. You feel stuck. You feel confused and unreliable. Now, on the flip side of that, there is the payoff. The payoff has to do with clarity, the payoff of being organized. Payoff is reduced stress, better sleep, a healthier diet. Because if you're more organized, you're going to be more organized with your food and your nutrition. So you're going to be healthier. You're going to feel more productive. You're going to be more productive. You're going to have improved everything. So it's really important for things to be organized versus disorganized. You don't want to have that. So it's really important to keep things in your life organized. Now, if you want to look at perception versus deception, so let's take a look at that. Perception is when you evaluate. It's how you evaluate you in life. It's your perception of, right? It's your intuitive feeling that you have. Okay? It feels like free choice, like an awareness that you have, a new awareness, your perception. You know things by direct experience, not from something that you've made up or heard or read in a book. You grasp things with your mind and with your whole soul and your whole being. You have a wide understanding. You can distinguish between truth and false. Really, really important. Now, let's take a look at deception. Deception is how you intentionally distort your reality. Okay? It's how you distort your reality. It feels like it's fake, like it's a fraud, like you feel fraudulent, you feel deceit, fake, lying. It's the untruth. It's like somebody cheating. You feel duped. It's insincere. So when we look at and compare perception to deception, okay, and look at things that are organized and disorganized and things that are real and made up, okay, so there's a payoff. The payoff is that you feel smart when you have a good perception. You can take charge of your life. You have an awareness. You have an I can attitude. Now, the ripoff of deception, self deception especially, is you lose trust in yourself, you lose power, you lose your integrity. It creates anger inside you. You feel guilty and suspicious. Deception is one of those things where you don't like to be deceived and you don't want to deceive other people because it's not good. It's not a good thing, right? So let's move on to the next section, which has to do with comfort and discomfort. So when things are comfortable, when you're familiar, right? Something familiar, you feel relief, you feel support, you feel reassurance, you feel a satisfaction and some kind of a security when you're familiar with something. It feels comfortable, it feels right. When something is discomfortable, it's uncomfortable, right? It's something that's uneasy. You feel disconnected. You feel unsettled. You sometimes feel upset, discombobulated. You've heard of that word, discombobulated. You get phased or tased. It just messes everything up. Now, there's a payoff of being comfortable. The payoff is that it renews the body and the mind when you have and you're around and you're familiar with your surroundings, when you're familiar with things, right? It reduces your anxiety and your fear. You release tension. It slows your breathing down. There's a natural healing, lower blood pressure, and on and on. Now, the ripoff of feeling something that's uneasy is that your heart rate is elevated. Your blood pressure goes up. You feel irritated. Sometimes you get angry. You feel worried. You feel disturbed, and you feel flustered. So these are not good things. This is not good to feel this. Now, again, let's go back to the top and look at so being a self achiever is to be realistically oriented, have a well organized perception of reality, and have a comfortable relationship with it, a comfortable relationship with reality. So, what is a relationship? It's something that's friendly versus something that's antagonistic, a bad relationship. A great relationship feels honest, trustful, respectful, open, compromising, not like you're compromising yourself. No, it's a compromising, it's a give and take. You compromise with someone. And this is like you compromise with reality because sometimes things might not make sense, but you have a little give and take. You feel balanced. When something is antagonistic or antagonizing, when you have a bad relationship with other people or with reality, it feels hostile. You feel resistant to ideas. You feel violent sometimes. You feel like you're being controlled or someone is trying to control you. You feel pressure and secret. So this is like, you know, when there's a bad relationship happening, people keep secrets, and this is the same thing with reality. We don't want to keep anything from reality. We want to be open to it. So what's the payoff? The payoff of a great relationship or a great relationship with reality is that you have a high self-esteem. You have empathy, trust, and cooperation, and a will to make everything better. You have your willingness goes through the roof because all of a sudden, when you have a great relationship with reality, you have your willingness like begins to explode. You feel willing to do more things, willing to be with people that are have in the past were not so fun to be around. You feel willing to go the extra mile. So the ripoff of being in a bad relationship with reality is that it lowers your self-worth. You feel like you don't belong, like you're not good enough. Your confidence goes to hell. You have a lot of self-doubt. You have lots of anxiety, total insecurity, and you feel useless. So, what we want to do, we want to get to a place of having a great relationship with reality. So, which areas of your life does this affect most? Maybe it's your career, your education, your travel, family, environment, your business, hobbies, recreation. Which one does it affect the most? So, being a self achiever means to be realistically oriented, have a well organized perception of reality, and have a comfortable relationship with it. Thank you very much. Please, if you like the content here, please leave a comment, ask me a question, or subscribe. Thank you so much. See you next time.